Well, good morning, everyone.
Sounds like a guy at Penzinger's making threats.
It is, the heck is today? Today's Tuesday, January 13th. And boy, oh boy, is there a whole lot going on. And that is an understatement, to say the least. Let's see here. Wait a second. We got to get this chat going here so I can see everybody. There we go. All right, there we go. Now it's coming up. Let's see if we can get the Rumble feed going over here. As everyone knows, we're doing a different rollout of the show. And for some reason, I am not getting my Rumble feed to go live. Interesting.
Good morning, everyone.
It takes it a minute, Sam, to
there it is.
Push it out. There you go.
All right, there we go. There we go. Oh, and that worked, Alex, turning off that volume.
Imagine that.
Well, what do you know? Surprise, surprise.
Ask the
All
tech
right.
guy.
Well, good morning, everyone. Dave, how the heck are you?
Very good. You guys?
Well, we're doing pretty darn well. At least I am, anyway. James, what about you?
We had a hell of a morning, I can tell you that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we did go quite long yesterday, which was kind of nice. Oh, and I want to let everybody know at home, we have some guests coming on with us next week. And what we're going to do is instead of doing a separate show at about the 10, well, whatever, wherever you are, the 45 minutes into the show, we're going to bring on some new guests and we're going to let the show run long. So I wanted to give everybody a heads up. I'm not sure what day it's going to be yet. It'll probably be Wednesday. But we've had a lot of people asking to come on the show as guests, which is great. And I've asked a lot of people to come on. And instead of trying to cram the Daily Dispatch show into a shorter period of time, once or twice a week, we're going to go long and bring on guests. So I wanted everybody to be aware of that. It's not a big deal. I just want to give a heads up, and I'll tell you as we go forward how that's going to work out on the specific days. Let's see, Alex, are you seeing the Rumble feed doing okay or not?
I see the Rumble feed doing fine. It is delayed, so everybody understands. There is a delay between us live and when we respond to what we see come in. So
that's really weird because my Rumble feed is completely locked up.
Mine's working great.
Huh.
Here, I'll do this.
Interesting. Okay, well, I see your chat, but I don't see the videos moving, which is weird. All right, well, as long as you can see it's fine, then I'm good with it. So let's say some good mornings here. Let's see who's up, who's piling in this morning. We have Gen X Nick is here. Good morning. Ego from Eastern Iowa. Good morning, Ego. Sherry from East Tennessee. Tracy Fagan is here. Excellent. Donna Fox. Towie Bixby. She said, I'm tapping fast. Oh, yeah. So we got to get to 10,000 likes on TikTok before 10 minutes. And I think, let's see, how far along are we right now? Oh, man, we've only got like a minute and a half, everybody. You better punch that screen. We're way behind schedule. Rick Senior's here. Melissa Flinner. Dobermom79. Good morning, all. Wendy is here. Rachel Lareda. Hey, welcome, Rachel. Looks like you're a new follower. Benji 1959. Big Ben is here. Nurse is here. Happy Tuesday to you as well, Nurse. Oh, let's see here. Beaver from Colorado Springs. Good morning, Beaver. Jan Lovin Being Grandma is here as well. Mark Matson just popped in. Hey, Mark. PJ Party Peggy is here. Did we hit the 12? Let's see. Are we at 10 minutes yet?
No, but we made it. I see 4 minutes on the clock, and we're already at 12,000.
Oh, wonderful. I must have been looking at the wrong number. I was all panicked there for a minute. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. CG is here. Sky Dancer. Charlie's here. PJ Party Peggy. Welcome in, everybody. Glad that you are here. Well, look who it is. Mama Bear is here. Good morning, Mama Bear. Woohoo to you as well. Barb7599. Welcome in, everybody. Now, Alex, I am not seeing any chats on the restream feed. I don't know why I'm not getting the chats again, but we're not. So you might want to monitor that.
Gotcha. I'm watching Rumble None, Robert Marshall, and Earl Shannon over on YouTube said good morning.
Hey guys, good morning. For some reason I'm not able to see the chat over on Restream. We're kind of just working out some technical issues here, but we'll make it through. Lisa Maria, good morning, dear. Glad you are here. Tina James just followed us. Good morning, Tina. Cindy Lou said we're at over 14,000. Oh man, you guys are on top of it. I was all worried for nothing. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, let's see. Alex here. What about some indices? You got some indices for us this morning?
I do. We're going to change it up so everybody can see what we're doing. I'm going to start out with the cryptocurrencies. Looking at Bitcoin, you can see it's up 0.5% to 93,600. I'm sorry, 365. Ethereum up 0.3% to 3,182. XRP up 0.5% to $2.10. Solana is up. I'm sorry, down 0.2 at 143. Looking at a couple of the others, Cardano up 1.2% at 40 cents. Stellar Lumens, I know with this new format, there it is up 1.1% at 23 cents. Looking at the commodities market, crude oil is up $1.58, as you can see, to $61.09 a barrel. Looking at the gold and silver, big news, ladies and gentlemen. Gold up $13 to $4,612. Silver, look at this, guys, $3.7 up to $88.93 per ounce. What is happening? What is happening? Dave, over to you for farm report, buddy.
Hold on, let me say some other good mornings here.
Say
that's okay. Mama Bear said, Sam, do you not see my grand rising? No, Mama Bear. So the problem or the challenge is that with this new format, I'm running multiple screens and multiple browsers within each screen. So it's delayed on some, it's not showing up on others. So grand rising to you as well. Nutty81 just showed up. Good morning, Nutty. This is really strange. This is I wonder why this is happening, but Crystal Zeski is here. Martin's WB. Good morning, Martin. Tim Shaw 707. Wendy quoting the silver price. Exactly. All right, Dave, what do we have for farming and agriculture?
Well, there's how's the sound on this side? I sound a little staticky. You guys sound a little staticky. I sound okay?
Can't hear you, Dave.
Your connection has gone wonky on us.
All right, I'll be back. Go to James.
All right. Let's go to James. James, what do we have for a military report today?
Well, I have one. If you can believe it, amongst all the other things that has happened to me this morning, it's been kind of wild. Good morning, everybody. Today, I would like to talk a little bit more about Iran. It seems to be a popular topic in pretty much every news place you look for. The United States is widening its focus on Iran.
Oh, Dave, we're having some interference there.
That's right. I'll mute him. Go ahead.
Go ahead, James.
The United States is widening its focus on Iran. President Trump has been briefed on the wide array of military and covert tools that can be used against Iran, and it goes way beyond conventional airstrikes. The president's national security team is having a meeting today in the White House to discuss updated options. The toll is growing about the number of anti-government protesters that have been taken out. Currently, the number is about 2,000. As of this report, 10,721 have been arrested. The protests have been in 606 locations in 187 cities across 31 Iranian provinces. We have imposed a 25% tariff that we're going to be talking about here a little later in the show on any country that does business with Iran. Among other options, new sanctions against key regime figures as well as Iran's energy and banking sectors. Electrical and internet interruptions should be expected, as well as airstrikes. President Trump says help is on the way.
Yeah, we're going to talk a lot about that today.
I think we're having internet interruptions in Iowa. What's going on over there?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Dave, are you with us? Well, I guess he's not there. He must be having some.
I think it's Starlink's having issues.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You
let's
re-
see. Southwest Minnesota's here. Good morning, Southwest. Dozer21 just popped in. Good morning, Dozer. Chris Romano, Laura McCrae, Wendy J. Good morning, all. Glad you can make it. I Speak 1717 is here. Meerkat as well. Welcome in, everybody. Mark M. Mark M said Wyoming has launched the Frontier stablecoin, the first ever U.S. state issued digital coin. Interesting. I did not know that. Hometown Girl said, "Hey, I'm in Iowa and I'm not having any issues." So obviously, it must be user error on Dave's part.
Shut off that other device, Dave. Maybe that's inhibiting things. I don't know.
Hey, CG's here, and Red Rosie. Ferg is here. Pure Blood Holly Johns. Nut. Everybody's popping in. Martini time. Hey, Martini time. Glad you could make it. All right. So, yeah, this is really strange. My this feed over on Rumble for me, for some reason, is just locking up every time I go to look at it. That's really weird. Oh, well. Kathleen Paschke's here over on Facebook, so that's interesting. So Facebook is working on Restream, but YouTube is not. On the chat, that is. Oh, well. What are you going to do? All right. It looks like, Dave, are you live? No. No, he's locked up. Old Dave's locked up again. That's all right. We'll come back to him. Let's jump into some stories here. So Iranian diplomats are banned from entering the European Parliament. Now, that in and of itself is news. What I find interesting is President Trump, as James alluded to earlier, he said effective immediately, any country doing business with the Islamic Republic of Iran will pay a tariff of 25% on any and all business being done with the United States of America. He further went on to say, this order is final and conclusive. Wow. Talk about some saber rattling. I think that's exactly what's going on. Alex, what do you make of it?
Well, look, if we look at what's happening geopolitically and economically around the world, he is one spoke at a time, taking away the wheel's ability to crank out money, right? So looking at major trading partners, you've got China, Turkey, UAE, India, Iraq, Pakistan, Germany, Italy, Brazil, Russia, Afghanistan, Armenia. I mean, this is South Korea. This is no joke. 25% tariffs across all of those countries. It just puts money in our pocket. I think that they'll probably comply.
Well, I think, as always with President Trump, he's doing things for a reason. He's playing out some sort of scenario, some sort of three-dimensional chess move that I don't think any of us are really aware of where it's going at this point. But I think it's interesting. James, what do you make of it?
You know, it's interesting what the EU leadership is talking about. They're greatly offended about what they're seeing, and thankfully they were able to see it. The EU is looking into fresh sanctions, as the Netherlands calls for, listing the Iranian Revolutionary Guard as a terrorist group. Basically, what's happening all across Europe is Iran can no longer do business in any way, shape, or form. And when they get squeezed that tight, something's got to give.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, are you with us now?
I think so. How's it sound?
Oh, it's good. Okay, good.
Okay.
You want to do a farming and agriculture?
Don't have to. We can do it at the end or whatever.
No, go ahead.
Okay. All right. Across the board here, corn is mixed, as we can see, down to almost even. Soybeans down 4 to 5, and wheat is mixed across the board. As for cattle, it's down. It's up. Was up about 6% of across the board, and hogs are 13. So there's lots of exciting stuff going on today. The USDA came out with their report. They added acres and they added bushels from last year, and it absolutely demolished the markets. So I think corn was down 25, beans were down 16. So it hurt it across the board. So kind of a tough deal for the farmers. We don't need that now. Have a lot of faith in President Trump, but not the USDA at this point.
Yeah. Well, he'll get his arms around it.
Yep.
Let's see. Kathy Lofton7 just became a super fan. Welcome in, Kathy. That damn Okie just showed up. Good morning, damn Okie. Squiggly77 said, I made it, everyone. Well, we're glad you made it. David is here. Lace and Steel just showed up. Good morning, Lace. Subi27, thank you for all the gifts. Benji1959 said, 5D chess. Isn't that the truth? Kathleen Garcia just popped in. Hey, Kathleen. Oh, my goodness. D is here. D said, absolutely. He's had a few years to plan and see clear what is behind the curtain. I think that's a very good point, D. The fact that President Trump, during his first term, ferreted out all of the nefarious players. He identified everybody, and now he's moving in for the swoop, in my opinion. But I think you're absolutely on target with that. Vicky Veronica's here. Good morning, Vicky. Dana Mackey. Good morning, Dana. David said, do we still listen to the FDA? Well, that's very true, David. So in 1992, no, I take that back. 1987 is about the time that the FDA made some very serious and significant changes. They passed the User Fee Act. And what that essentially meant was pharmaceutical companies could pay in advance to get their drugs fast-tracked. Well, fast forward 30, 40 years, over 50% of the FDA's payroll is paid for by the pharmaceutical industry. That, not to mention agriculture, not to mention all the other facets of the FDA. The FDA stopped working for the American people years ago. And I have every faith that President Trump is going to change that with the help of RFK Jr. Now, how it plays out and when, your guess is as good as mine. Allie Mae just showed up. Good morning, Allie Mae. All right, so let's see here. Let's move on to the next story, which is Apple has joined forces with Google to power artificial intelligence features for products like Siri. Alex, do you think that we're going to see some sort of a major consolidation in big tech?
I think antitrust laws are probably going to stop something like that from happening. We're probably going to try. Some are going to try. The joining forces on projects, especially like AI. When you look at something like Apple's Siri, and it's I think currently using Siri says, "Do you want me to use Chat GPT for that or something?" I think you're going to see. Again, fair market, right? Who's got the best product? If your product is good, then it's going to get picked up by the masses and pushed out. If it's not as adequate, free market, right? So it makes sense that companies are jockeying to partner up to figure out which one is going to perform better. And part of that is who is backing what. So Google and them and Apple coming together. That obviously pushes. Now Google's AI, I believe, is Gemini. So will Siri be switching from ChatGPT to Gemini? I mean, it's going to be interesting over the next couple of years how AI seeps into all aspects of what we do.
And it's interesting too. I've spoken with some people that use the paid versions of these AI models, and apparently it's like a 10x increase in information when you pay for those specific AIs. Now, I use a lot of them, but I don't pay for any of them, and I'm trying to decide which one is going to be the best one to use. So, in fact, let's do a little run here in the chat. If you're using AI and it's a paid AI, tell us in the chat who it is, because I'm really curious. I haven't decided where I'm going to go with that yet. Dobermom79 said, oh, she gave a club power. Thank you, Dobermom. I Speak 1717 said, can we at least get a washing machine that lasts more than 2 years? Well, that's called planned obsolescence. They specifically do it, and I'm hoping as we move back to American-based manufacturing that's going to change. Now, we'll have to wait and see, but April Burgess just popped in. Good morning, April.
An example, we have a double oven, a wall-mounted double oven. When we bought the house, it was already here. Looking at the manufacturer and serial number and everything else, it was produced in 2019. It's not that old. the circuit board in it is already discontinued. The bottom oven has quit working. So you have to either try to find somebody that can repair the circuit board, or find somebody that's even got a circuit board, or buy a whole new double wall oven. And I don't know if you've priced a double wall oven lately, but they're like 8 to 10 grand.
What?
Oh yeah.
Holy
yeah.
smokes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I see shelves in your future for that area.
Yeah,
Some shelves
exactly.
across there.
I'm already building a pizza brick oven in the backyard. We'll be fine.
Melissa Flinner said, I use Apple products but never use Siri. Interesting. Boatman said, chat got business account for me. Interesting. Wendy says, I use free AI. Kathleen Garcia says, chat GPT is sufficient for my needs. Brian said, AI equals artificial intelligence, artificial fake. So is AI fake intelligence? Well, it's only as good as what's programmed into it, in my opinion. Super Slambot said, super cool. AI has been great information for me and my AI startup. Oh, I'd love to hear more about that.
Interesting.
Valerie James said, I need an old 1950 something stove. Best stove was a 1952 GE. Exactly. PJ Party says, I use you, Sam. Oh, my goodness. Ferg says, I used a free version of Gemini. Katie Cat said, our furnace was 10 years old and they discontinued the motherboard, had to replace everything. That's that whole planned obsolescence thing again. It's just ridiculous. Chatty Khaki said, I love my Speed Queen. No frills, best ever. Exactly. All right, well, let's move on. So, next up on today's list is Elon Musk says that X's new algorithm will be open source in 6 days. Alex, will you tell people a little bit about what open source actually means?
Open source means I'm going to take the code for my software, my platform, my whatever, and I'm going to put it public facing so anyone can access the code and see how the software works. What that does is that opens innovation for APIs, application protocol interface. So I can write an API that will pull in sources from that program. So it's really going to be interesting to see. I was very surprised, but he did the same thing with Tesla, right? Like he's like, I'm gonna put everything that we do with the Tesla out into the public, open source. This is how we do it. I think he's confident that nobody's going to take it and replicate it, obviously, because the size and scale of an operation to recreate a Tesla plant or recreate the X community, is a massive undertaking, and he's probably the only one that can afford to do it. But it is encouraging that he's open sourcing things. He's peeling back the covers, so that again, in an age of transparency, crypto. Looking at blockchain and transparency, understanding what is where and how it works and how to connect and how to pull it in. It's exciting. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, me too, James.
This is a really a good opportunity for us to get a peek behind the curtain and possibly a technical explanation why our feeds are 90% rage bait.
Right?
Yeah, Dave.
What do you mean?
Well, and I seen him on Joe Rogan, and he talked about. He goes, I'm not going to hold back our technology. He goes, if somebody can do it better, go for it. I'll show exactly what we do. He goes, that'll advance us even faster. He says, so that's pretty amazing, actually.
100%.
So, the guests that we're bringing on next week, I'm going to tell you who they are. It's Sapioplex and JF Anon. Now, when I say these guys think out of the box, picture a box here. Then drive a mile away, and then you're going to find Sapioplex and JF Anon. They are so far out of the box, and we're going to discuss some of these things with them on the show. I tend to agree with the majority of what they say, but I think their perspectives are much different when it comes to basic income, high basic income, robotics, and so forth. It's going to be challenging for everyone to not react emotionally, but to really consider what they're saying. And they have Substacks that I've read. I mean, these guys are brilliant. And as I said, they'll be coming on next week. But prepare yourself; you're going to have to strap in because, like I said, here's the box, a mile away. That's where Jeff or John and Paul are. But it's a wonderful thing. It makes us think, and I think that's important.
I'm going to need Dave and James to bring up the moon landing with them.
Oh God, yeah. Believe me, that's why we're going to start them on late in the show and go as long as we want to, because you're going to have to buckle in. Wildlife fans here. Good morning, Wildlife. Glad you can make it.
Sam, can we backtrack just a smidgen when you're talking about Apple and Google partnering? I have one good example. If you think in antitrust laws is what Alex brought up, and one of the things that's most important is you look at Sirius and XM radio. They seem to collaborate and make it work. So when you talk about Google having a valuation, it hit $4 trillion this morning. $4 trillion. But one of the things that's key is they're in a race to harness OpenAI, and you have to think about what they're trying to do as two companies merge. Apple has 2 billion phones, 2 billion active lines. They want a chunk of it, and they want a chunk of it today.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting, Alex, with the rise in silver. Can you quickly pull up what the world's largest assets are? Because I think silver made a jump, didn't it? I'm not positive, but I think it did.
The last time it was, 6 or 7? Does that sound right?
Well, there was 2 different ones. I saw it as 4. Alex found it as 7, so somewhere between 4 and 7. But I'm guessing that now that it's up close to $90, that would have jumped significantly.
It is currently.
Hey, Super Slam Bot just joined us. Good morning, Super Slam Bot.
8869. The world assets depend on how you define asset. Total market capitalization / value. So here's the top contenders based on the most recent data of early 2026. Gold as a commodity asset, approximately 31 to 32 trillion, often ranked number 1 among individual assets. Number 2, market value, around 4.5 to 4.8 trillion, silver.
And that's what number?
2.
Number 2. Oh, wow. Wow. I didn't know it was that big.
NVIDIA's sitting at 4.5. Google's sitting at 4. Apple's sitting at 3.8 to 3.9.
And where's BTC?
See, again, it depends on. It's not listed here. I've got the top 5. Let me.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
This Walking Liberty $50 is worth $32.55.
Wow. Wow. Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Bitcoin is currently sitting at number 8 at 1.8 trillion. Amazon at 2.6. Microsoft at 3.5.
Wow. Wildlife fan said, "Hi, gang. Late because I'm battling a sickness. Day 2. Well, we hope you feel better soon, Wildlife fan."
And at $90, the 64 and older quarter is worth $16.27.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, no kidding. Let's see here. I Speak 1717 said, "Keep an eye on the ratio." Yeah, I think that's a good. Whoa, what happened with all this?
1 year ago, silver was sitting at $30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Rebel Chick just joined us. Hey, Rebel Chick. Dobermom's trying to stir it up the pot, saying the flat Earth. Oh, no good. We're not going there today. We'll wait for Sapioplex and JF and on for that. Let's see. So I'm getting a whole bunch of messages, Alex, that say Lisa Maria deleted a key word. I don't know what that means.
As mod, she can go in if somebody's putting vulgarities in the chat.
Oh, okay.
Filter the vulgarities. So
okay, cool. Thank you, Lisa.
But that's Rick, that's a James's keyword.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome trolls.
Rick Sr. said, "I love my silver coins. I'll never sell." Exactly. Well, there'll be a point probably where you can tokenize them or use them as collateral and never lose control of that particular asset.
You can do that.
Digger's here from Canada. Hi, Digger.
You can take that physical silver, create bonds. That's a whole nother
Mm.
goal.
Yeah, that's a whole. Yeah, exactly.
But
Yeah,
you can't.
we're moving into a whole brave new world, everybody. It's wonderful. Okay, so the White House sends out email notifications from time to time, and I got one yesterday. And there was multiple stories in it, but the one that caught my attention was that in the Washington Examiner, gas prices, the national average fell to $2.79 per gallon for the first time in 5 years. And like I told you all, here in Los Angeles, I paid $4.30 or $4.20 last week. And just a couple of days ago, it was down to $3.30, almost a dollar drop. That is significant. Alex, what do you make of it?
Well, a year ago, oil was sitting at $77 a barrel. Today, it's at 60. I think when you flood the market with oil, right, the supply is great, and the supply outpaces the demand. Therefore, the price goes down. That's why he's said since his first term, drill, baby, drill.
Yeah. Dozer21 said, I think copper will move. You're probably right. James, what do you make of it?
Well, to the point, I guess Alex hit it already. He's good at stealing a little bit of thunder. Oversupply of crude, predictive production from all countries is what's driving this price down. Geopolitical tensions on the other side of the coin really has had no effect. Abundant supply benefiting consumers and challenging producers. Gasoline prices could go as low as $1.
Wow.
Let's
Dave?
go. Let's go.
Dave?
No, exciting to see. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be they're gonna have to find a happy place between the oil companies making money and us being happy on the lower prices. Obviously, hate to be the middleman there, but hey, if I can cut 30 to 40% off my farming on fuel prices, count me in.
What if it's even more than that? And I'm not going to
Yeah,
dig into it now, but when Sapioplex and JF and on come on, it's going to blow your mind what their perspective is. At least I
I'll
think
have to look into them.
So Tammy Tyree said, I paid $2.19 yesterday in Tennessee. Pure Blood Holly John says still sitting at 443 here. And I think Holly's here in California somewhere. Lace and Steel says California's still taxing gas to line their pockets. 100%, I believe it. Jan Love and Being Grandma said $2.89 a gallon here in Arizona, and 7 days ago it was $3.89. Yeah, that's the kind of drop I saw here. That's just crazy. Jan Love and Being Grandma said, "Yeah, $1 a gallon. Let's go." Exactly. Super Slam Bot said $2 a gallon in gas in some parts of Texas. Huh. Andre Lynn 81 brought up a very good point. She said that SCOTUS is ruling on the tariffs. Yes, we know that. And President Trump yesterday, in fact, let's just jump to that story right now. President Trump yesterday talked about the tariffs. And he said that if for any reason the Supreme Court rules against his tariffs, he said, quote, we're screwed. And I have to agree with him. Now, I think there's a lot of theater and kayfabe going on here, but James, what do you make of it?
Well, they had the opportunity last week to condemn it, and that was their very first opportunity. Their next opinion day is tomorrow, January 14th. Scott Bessent, which is a trusted individual that we all love, I do anyway. I think he's a pretty badass. He says it's unlikely that they will rule against the tariffs and calls this a corporate boondoggle.
Wow. Dave?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. That's what's giving us our strength back right now and protecting us against a lot of things like the BRICS nations and stuff like that. So we're getting our power back with that. So hopefully that'll continue.
Well, and SCOTUS, if I remember correctly, has ruled in President Trump's favor 28 out of 31 times. Now, if that's any indication, I mean, I don't know. Maybe President Trump wants to have a big scuttlebutt about it. We'll have to see. Alex?
So if we look at the Constitution, tariffs for the United States is rooted in Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution, which grants Congress, not the president, primary authority over taxation and trade regulation. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they come back. The framers viewed tariffs as the federal government's main revenue source. Our framers said tariffs were the main revenue source. Keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Under early constitutional pre-income tax era, the first major law passed by Congress in 1789, the Tariff Act of 1789 imposed duties on imports for revenue, debt repayment, and manufacturing protection. There is a precedent there for tariffs and what our founding fathers had intended. The richest this nation has ever been, the most prosperous it has ever been, was underneath tariffs, not the Federal Reserve borrowing of money at interest.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Don, the third G is here. Don, I haven't seen you in a while. Glad you made it. He said Clintons defy the subpoena to testify in the Epstein investigation, risking being held in contempt. Now, I've heard two different stories this morning, and that's why I haven't brought it up. There's some people saying they're not going to show up. There's others that are saying that they are. And today, Clinton is today, I think. I should say Bill Clinton. But is it today or tomorrow? Let's see. Today's the third. Yeah, today. So we'll have to wait and see. But good point out there, Don. Teresa Farid, contractor, said 265 in Pennsylvania in my area. Interesting. Magic is here. Tam at the ranch. Where the heck have you been, Tam? Finally here. Glad you made it.
Today is the day for Bill Clinton, scheduled for closed-door deposition committee at 10 a.m. Hillary is scheduled for tomorrow, January 14th.
Yep. Wendy J said our founding fathers knew what they were doing. 100% I agree. 100%. All right, let's do a quick sponsor break here, everybody. So as you know, Mike Lindell has sponsored me from the beginning, and Mike's now running for the governorship of Minnesota. If you need pillows or sheets or mattress toppers or anything else that Mike sells, give him the business. He has earned it, and he can use the help. Go to mypillow.com, use the discount code SAM, and let's give Mike some business. He's more than earned it, in my opinion. Secondly, we have Neil Naturopathic. Chemical-free, toxin-free hair care products. Go to neilnaturopathic.com, use the discount code SAM20, and you'll get a 20% discount on your order. Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Glidden is with us every Friday, like clockwork. If you have questions, any health and wellness questions, he has created a website that is chock full of information. He also does live question and answers for his members twice a week. Go to my website, samshalhoub.com, click on Dr. Glidden's button, use the discount code SAM, and you'll get a 30% discount on membership to his website. And then, of course, Best Line Racing. Perry is doing a fantastic job with engine and fuel additives. Go to samshalhoub.com, click on the Best Line Racing tab, and use the code SAM for your discount. Alex, what about meditation this morning?
For those of you that are not on TikTok, if you go to Amazon and type in Alex Raymer, it will come up. And if you're on TikTok, the link is in my bio. I wrote Beginner's Guide to a Life-Changing Meditation, the Easy Road to a Peaceful Mind. And still drudging through the second book. The last 10%. I'm close, guys. I'm close. So thanks, Sam.
Looking forward to that second book. Hokey Gigi and John Langloy, thank you for the heart me's. PJ Party said, but will Bill show up is the question. Well, that's a very good.
So I just found Bill Clinton failed to appear for his scheduled deposition today. Chairman James Comer immediately announced that the committee will initiate contempt proceedings next week during a committee markup session. This involves voting on a resolution to cite him for contempt.
Oh, geez. Here we go. Drag it out even further. Dave, you were going to say something? Oh, I don't know if Dave was trying to say. Dave, were you trying to say something? Oh,
yeah, Alex beat me to it. It says here that the Clinton's attorney sent a letter in, invalid and illegally unenforceable.
Yep. Towie Bixby said Mike Lindell just won his lawsuit. Yes. So that's another thing. Rick Sr. said my pillows are and the mattress topper are the best. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wendy J said it's hard for him to show up. Well, I would like to be, as we all do, I'm sure, would love to see some perp walks. And I would love to see him being perp walked. Now, is it going to happen? My guess is yes. When? Who knows? But I've heard through the grapevine, through people that I follow, people that I talk to, that there may be an even bigger arrest coming in the next couple of months. And it's being said that it's going to happen before April or before. And you know who that is? Obama. And there's an awful lot of chatter all over the news wires. In fact, Carolyn Levitt came out yesterday and basically said President Obama, and I use that term loosely, is implicated in the Russia hoax. And if that is coming to the forefront, holy smokes, could you imagine the pushback that we're going to see? Thank goodness we have the National Guard and regular forces in every state, is all I can say.
I think we need to start selling popcorn, Sam.
Yeah, exactly. We probably should. Batten Ballin said the first arrest will shock the world. Exactly. Jay Hicks said, please be Obama. Exactly. I know. Wouldn't that be? Mama Sass said, makes me happy. Yeah, me too. Sherry said, that would be awesome. Exactly. Gen X Nick said, is that why he's dumping all the assets in the USA and bolting? Well, I don't. Yeah, you could be right, but I think there is only a limited amount of countries that do not allow extradition. And I don't know for sure, but I'm wondering if Kenya is one of those countries. And I think we all know that. Yeah, I think we all know the reason for that.
Sam, do you really think that we don't have the capability to ignore extradition and just go get them?
I know that.
And the other part of one of the reasons I speculate, one of the reasons that the Clintons won't show up is because Admiral Crandall down there in Gitmo had something else to say because they've been hanging around Gitmo. That's all I'm going to say. That's my 2 cents.
Exactly. Wendy J said, get your boats out. The Dems will flood us out with tears. Isn't that true? I speak seven. Go ahead.
Yeah, Kenya allows extradition to the United States.
Okay. Well, again, but I think also President Trump and team, they like to do everything by the letter of the law. So I think, I don't think they're going to pull a faux pas in that situation. I speak 1717 said popcorn is up 35 cents to an all-time high. Isn't that true? Chrissy said they should probably quit announcing it. Yeah, you're right, Chrissy, but they've got to build it up. They've got to wake people up because there's a lot of people still sleeping. Alex, what was that?
Notable countries that do not allow extradition to the United States: China, Indonesia, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia, Nepal, Mongolia, Iran, Syria, Yemen, Africa, let's see, Ethiopia, Sudan, and Europe, Russia, Belarus, Ukraine, Bosnia. So he's got choices.
Yeah. Well, Sue B said the libs would go crazy. Isn't that the truth? Teresa Faria, contractor, said they can run, but they can't hide. Isn't that the truth? PJ Party said Obama and the Clintons are already gone. Now there's maybe a lot of truth in that, Peggy. Cindy Lou said both Clintons have said they are not showing up. Huh. Wendy said time for everyone to wake up. Well, it's happening, Wendy. It's just taking much longer than I expected, but it's happening. John Doherty. Hey, John said silver will be a few hundred per ounce in the next few months. Well, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. Benji 1959 said Bill Clinton, actor. Hillary, actor. Obama, actor. Well, I think how many have been replaced? How many have been put under submission? I have no idea. But you're probably not too far off the beaten trap there, Ben.
James, too bad that XRP coin ain't in silver. It could be worth a lot more.
Yeah,
exactly.
Silver.
Nice.
I got them in silver.
Even if they are to be in contempt of Congress, it's up to $100,000 fine and up to 1 year. It's a misdemeanor. So, is it really that big a deal? I mean, look at what they did to some others that didn't show up. Brennan. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, Mama Sass says I'm going to start investing in popcorn. Exactly, probably a wise choice. Andrea Lynn 81 said if Clinton had showed up, we would have seen it. It's 12:45 there. Yeah, you're probably right. Donna Fox said,
Yeah, he didn't show up. We know
Yeah.
that.
Okay. Donna Fox said, I believe they're already gone. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. Exactly. Cindy Lou said, I think they're all 2.0. Well, again, I don't know who's been replaced, who's under submission, but you're probably not too far off the beaten path with that, in my opinion.
I'm going to say this. Earl Shannon over on YouTube said he suggested that we buy something. I'm going to say that I agree with you, but I'm not going to say it on live what he suggested we buy. Just
okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what that means, but I can't see the chat over on. Actually, wait a minute. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, see, it's really.
And I want to add one more farm commodity too. Popcorn is at $12.50 today, going up. Get it while you can.
What is
popcorn?
Oh, popcorn. Yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, moving on. James, we're going to come to you first on this one. The U.S. War Department under Pete Hegseth said that this administration, the War Department, will be AI first. What do you make of it, James?
We have talked about this topic in the past, and I've grazed over the very words I'm going to say again. A wartime approach delivering capabilities, warfighting, intelligence, and enterprise operations. The reward, battlefield decision-making, rapidly converting intelligence data, and modernizing daily workflows, all in direct support of more than 3 million Department of War personnel.
Wow.
So what AI is doing is it's modernizing the battlefield to a point that we've never seen before. When you have something like the F-47 and its artificial intelligence to be able to command squadrons of drones, I'm talking swarms of drones, all by AI. The technology today it's unfair. And when the enemy says we're scared shitless of the United States, that's why.
Well, and I think we only know a portion of what we really have. Yeah. James, Alex?
So to add to what James said, 3 areas: warfighting, decision support, intelligence, but pace-setting projects that they're working on: Swarm Forge, competitive testing of AI-enabled swarm tactics with warfighters and innovators; Network Agent, it's an AI agent for battle management and unalive chain support; and Ender's Foundry, advanced AI-driven simulations to counter adversaries. So they're going to have the ability to plug in battle scenarios and have AI war game it before we put people's lives in harm's way.
Right.
Freaking awesome. Interstate would say.
It is very much so. So moving on, the U.S. Department of Labor has been on a tear lately. Their latest post is a picture of President Trump with his arms crossed, with a very stern look on his face, and it simply says, "This is from yesterday. It's Monday. Patriots are in control. Let's get to work." Wow, James.
I'm glad you picked me on this one because this totally excites me. Basically, the Department of Labor is saying, get your lazy ass off the couch. If you're able, go to work. So increasing workforce participation, enhancing skills, training, especially in AI, expanding apprenticeships, returning federal employees to in-person work, and it should encourage everybody to go to work. Senator Scott Rick's bill is to strengthen requirements for federal benefits like SNAP.
Exactly. Dave?
Yeah, they're basically just saying, we've got the jobs coming in. We need you guys to get after it and start it up just like the old days. It's time to go.
Alex?
I mean, exciting times. The more you know, the more you know. It is interesting that a governmental agency is word for word, verbatim, posting things that we have all seen posted in other places for a while. I mean, coincidence? I think not.
Exactly. Squiggly77 said Lowe's is selling a 5-gallon bucket of popcorn. Is that true, Squiggly? That's cracking me up. Benji1959 said peace through strength. 100%. Jan Lovin being grandma said, so proud of our military. And Pete Hegseth, so am I, Jan. So am I. Pure Blood Holly Johnson. Pure Blood Holly John says, I hear Pete's name and my blood pressure goes up. Easy now, Holly. If I'm not mistaken, I think you're married, young lady. Uh-huh. Melissa
Well, you know
Flinter
the old
said,
saying. You know the old saying, Sam. Doesn't matter where you get your appetite, as long as you eat at home.
oh, there you go. That's another interstateism, Maria. Elisa, you better put it in there. Melissa
Allie
Flinter
says,
said,
Allie says I can look at the menu as long as I come to home to eat because she's dessert.
oh, there we go. That's the way it should be. Melissa, oh, and that video yesterday, Alex, that you said was absolutely precious. She is sweet. Oh, my
Sadie?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that was
Allie's,
precious. It warmed my heart.
well, Allie switched up the grocery order, and you saw it was Sam's Cola, and so Sadie, like legit, I made her repeat it because she walked in and she looked at it and she looked at us and she goes, "Is that Sam Shalhoub's Cola?"
You know, and he gave us a video of it. It's so precious, just so precious. I loved it. Melissa Flinter said they should have never let it go on for that long. Well, I agree, but there's a reason why they have. Wildlife fan said, my husband retired me 5 years ago so I can travel to see our grandchildren. Oh, how sweet. That's sweet. Lisa Maria said, Sadie is absolutely adorable. Yes, she is. 100% she is. All right, let's move on. So next up, Representative Randy Fine, a Republican from Florida, has introduced a bill to make Greenland the 51st state. They're calling it the Greenland Annexation and Statehood Act. Dave?
Yeah, it's coming. Bringing it to light. And I think this week, Rubio was supposed to go to Denmark and talk to him. We'll end up buying it. There's no doubt in my mind they're coming. Trump says either we get them or Russia or China gets them. So, and he's not going to let that happen.
You know, there was a video floating around. His name, a comedian by the name of Jimmy Carr. You guys know him. He's from the UK.
Yeah.
And I guess, you know, he interacts with the audience a lot. And he said, somebody yelled out, what do you think about the Greenland deal? And his response was, well, you have two choices. You can either give it to them or let them take it. And everybody just went wild. It was crazy. James?
You know, even though it depends on where you go to look. There's a lot of detail about it. Depends on what agency or what venue you're using. Some places say that Greenland's not for sale. Well, we've been there a long time. We can actually say we've occupied the territory militarily. There's a lot of work that's going to have to go into this for us to acquire it, unless they simply say, okay, that $1 million per person, there's not that very many people there. So they're going to make them all millionaires, and we're going to continue our occupants in a military base. We talked about it the other day. We're there.
Well, in occupied territory, I would refer people back to the Law of War manual that talks a lot about occupied territory. Just a little teaser there. Alex?
Well, at the end of the day, I think the decision falls to the people there, right? And they have openly voiced their displeasure with the current Denmark structure and the things that are happening there. So I think it's pretty likely to happen. The bill has provisions enabling the annexation and eventual admission of Greenland to statehood, requiring president to submit a report to Congress detailing any necessary changes to federal laws to facilitate admitting Greenland as a state, which we've done this before. Like we bought Alaska, Louisiana territories. I mean, there's precedent for how we bring things in. Framing the move as a national security priority to structure Arctic shipping lanes, resources like rare earth minerals, oil, and gas, and a counter influence from China and Russia. So, you know, strategically, the shipping lanes, as they come across the ocean, as flights come across, they tend to stick close to land versus going straight across. It's strategically the right thing. Again, I think the decision is going to fall to the people of that country. And I'm still trying to figure out why Greenland's covered in ice and Iceland's green.
Exactly.
There's 57,000 people that live there, and I just want to give you guys the news today that I've applied for my split citizenship for there,
Yeah,
just in case that $1 million comes into play.
exactly. LSC.3 and Tammy C54 just showed up, and thank you for the heart me's. Oh yeah, that's the other thing too, everybody. I want to remind everybody when you subscribe to on TikTok, it's called Superfan now, and that's the only option that TikTok is giving us. And I get a lot of messages about this. So when you subscribe, it is the Superfan subscription. Secondly, whenever we used to say the old shop thing to kind of get a free pass, the new verbiage is for context. This live is for educational purposes only. Just so people realize that if you put that in the chat, that helps us from avoiding the big bad boogeyman on TikTok. Just so everybody knows. PJ Party said, if you're retired military, the state of Arkansas does not charge property tax. Oh, interesting. Melissa Flinner said, I know, Dave, I want to do the same thing. Exactly. Oh, my gosh, that's classic. All right, moving on. So President Trump announced the new president of Meta. It is Dina Powell McCormick. And he said it's a great choice, that she is fantastic and very talented. She served the Trump administration with strength and distinction. Very interesting. You know, there's a lot of people that think when President Trump had all the heads of tech at the White House that he was kowtailing to them. I think it's the opposite. I think big tech is kowtailing to President Trump. James, what do you think?
I'm absolutely on board with that statement. I don't think that anybody privately is going to try and not mosey up to the president and say, hey, look, but as far as Meta's good choice, actually the new selection is somebody that President Trump favors, and for him to speak highly of this person, I think that's a way better choice than having that other guy that came from Meta. I don't think Trump likes him at all.
Yeah, exactly. Dave?
Yeah, she's a long time finance executive of Goldman Sachs. She oversees multi-billion-dollar investments, AI strategy, execution, building capital partnerships, and expanding infrastructure. So, I mean, that you can't ask for a better person in that position, I'd say.
Yep. Dave, James, Alex.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
I know. I'm trying to read the chat while I'm talking. Go ahead.
Other interesting things about her. We both share a birth year of 1973. She's actually an Egyptian American. You know, what a great example of coming to this country and doing your part to make it better. Early life, she was born in the Middle East. To a Christian family in Cairo. She migrated to the U.S. as a child, settling in Dallas, Texas. Arriving without speaking English, graduated from the University of Texas at Austin with honors. She did serve with George W. Bush. She also served with Trump as Deputy National Security Advisor for Strategy. 16 years in finance. I mean, she's a very accomplished person, and I think, you know, Trump highlights people that that deserve it. So nice hat. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking.
Yeah, I've got my new hat in for Iceland, so I'm ready. I got that out of the way, so I
You're
just
ready
got to
to
get my
go.
ticket.
Is that
Nurse-
Beaver?
That's right.
Nurse Jane 2.0, welcome in. Big D, thank you for the gifts. Wildlife fan, thank you for the gifts. Squiggly77 said Greenland, Canada, Mexico, and several other countries will become part of the new Republic of America. I think you are right on target. I think when President Trump got rid of NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, there was a whole lot more baked in there that we just don't know about yet. Wendy J loves your hat, Dave.
You don't want to know what I think.
Well, welcome to Iceland.
Yep. Hey, Special K 765 is here. Hey, Special K. Kevin Kiesler just made it. Welcome in, everybody. Glad you made it. All right, everyone. So that's all we have for today on terms of the stories. Where are we at on? Let's see, 120,000 likes. You guys are awesome. That is just incredible. Now, remember, we're going to have a special guest next week. I think it's going to be on Wednesday. It's going to be Sapioplex and JF Anon. You don't want to miss that show. Now, as far as today, I think we are good to go. Let me turn off the channel over here on YouTube so that thank you everybody on YouTube. I can't see your chat today, but I'm going to work on that, see if we can get it figured out. But we will be back tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. Hope you can join us.